All right, what's up guys? Got Dave here, just leaving the pad, and I thought of something good to make a video about. And I wanted to talk about writing and emotions, because writing is a very emotional thing to do. Yeah, it's very exciting. Yeah, just walking around the dealership looking at motorcycles is exciting for me. But a lot of times, like say you're at the racetrack or up at the canyon, and you start going fast and you get excited, it could be like a negative thing because it'll make you tense up on the handlebars, which is not good, you know, then you start doing bad things. But other than excitement, you know, usually excitement's a positive thing, but I wanted to talk about some negative emotions that you do not want to let come into your writing. And I'm talking about sorrow, fear, and anger. And those three things are very negative when it comes to motorcycle riding. And sorrow is like, say for example, you just had like a loved one die, you know, like you just lost your dad, or you just like broke up with your girlfriend, or you just, you know, something, and you're really like devastated, right? Don't go for a ride, dude. Because your mind is not in writing mode. Your mind is in I miss that person mode, and it's not a good place to be when you're writing. I've done it before, and it's not good, you know, like when you're really shook up about something, to try to go for a ride and like chill yourself out sometimes is not the best idea. And the same thing with like up in the canyon or at the racetrack. You can't let fear creep into your writing, because ultimately that is what results in target fixation. You know, is basically like you're halfway through a turn and you're looking at the apex, and then all of a sudden you get afraid, you get scared, and you look at the outside of the turn, you know, and you're like, I don't want to go there, you know, because you feel like you're going too fast around the turn. And so as soon as fear creeps in, you're going to do something stupid. You're going to chop the throttle, you're going to tap the front brake, you're going to, you know, like let off abruptly type of thing, you know, or you're going to like look toward the outside of the turn and be like, I don't want to hit that pull, and you're going to be like, whoop, right into it, you know. So it's stay away from that, you know, don't go fast enough to scare yourself, because as soon as fear comes into the equation, it's not a good thing. And the last is anger, and that is something that I tell you, it's difficult for me, you know, like commuting to work and back every day. Like I'm going to work, it's Friday, and I guarantee you someone's going to be riding my butt. Someone's going to cut me off, like change lanes right in front of me without their signal. You know, someone's going to do something stupid that's going to make me feel like being like, screw you, buddy, and throwing them a finger, or getting up next to them and hitting their mirror. But it's like, I don't do that shit. Are you kidding? That's ridiculous. And that is something that you can't practice in a parking lot. that is something that like you can't even prepare for, really. You know, you're just like riding to work, and all of a sudden someone, like, you're watching your mirrors and someone goes, wah, and you didn't even see them, and they're going like a freaking 100 miles an hour, and they damn near took you out, and you're like, you freaking asshole, you know. And it makes you feel like just catching up to that person and killing them, you know, or doing something, you know. But it's like, what are you gonna do? You're on your freaking bike, you're not in a Mack truck. But it's really hard for me, you know, I'm getting all fired up just talking about it. It's really hard for me when someone drives like that and has no respect for my safety, not to retaliate and not to feel anger. There you go, buddy. Always wait for that signal. But that's something that's really difficult for me, and something that I constantly have to practice. But the thing is, it's like you got to wait for that moment to practice it. You got to wait to be like, okay, you know, and that's how you practice it. And it's not something that you can practice in a parking lot, and it's very difficult. And about the time you try to like get back at that car, that's what road rage is, you know. Like, it is when somebody cuts you off, and it's like, hey, maybe they did it to be a jerk, or maybe they were just on their phone, or they did it by accident, or they're like, oh man, that's my off-ramp, you know, and they got no choice, they got to get off the freaking freeway, you know. But the second thing, like when you catch up to them and you're like, hey, that's road rage, because then that's like a retaliation. So you got to avoid that, especially on a motorcycle. And I don't know, I figured I would talk about that because emotions are something that is very difficult to control sometimes. And they could be a positive thing when you're walking around the dealership and you're like, of all the bikes here, that one just like stokes me out, dude. Well, that's the one you should buy, you know? So in that case, it's like emotions are really good and you should go off of that. But when everything in your body is telling you to catch up to that car that just cut you off and knock his mirror off, you got to try to resist that. So just figured I'd talk about that. And you guys have a good day. Hopefully I do. And happy Friday. Take it easy. Peace.